Thanks for tuning in. All right. So I'm going to be talking about in over 2 years, right? I'm always used to either being in a good place where there's reception that's really good, or I'm connected to Wi-Fi. And in this case, I live in an RV right now, and it's just all covered in aluminum tin, right? Whatever it is, right? And it's not really having a good reception right now, so I'm going to be doing other videos on just exactly what it is I'm going to be talking about, right? My trial, right? So everything that I say in this stream right now, I'm going to again be talking about in other videos with a better quality stream video, right? Because I know right now you really can't. I don't know how good it is, right? But I'm hoping that I can be heard. I'm hoping that there's no mic problems right now. But if anyone can tell me if they can hear me good, I can probably see the comments and I will probably know if anything's going on. But being that everything seems to be fine, I'm going to be going ahead and talking about the trial that I'm going to be going to. Okay, so I have trials set on July of this month, and it's set for. Mike is good. All right, I appreciate that. I saw the comment. Good. Okay, so I'm going to be going to trial right on July 30th, right? From what the court coordinator has told me, um, it's going to be set on July 30th and 31st in the Dimmit County Court of Dimmit County, Texas. Where is that? That is in Carrizo Springs, Texas. That is going towards like Laredo, Eagle Pass area, down southward of Texas. I am 45 minutes away from the border currently, right? And just to put it bluntly, right? And that's going towards Eagle Pass, right? If you're in San Antonio, you take 35 south and you take exit 84 to the right. Okay, that's where I'm at, down there. Okay, all right. Okay, so now the trial that I'm going to be having is county court, right? I'm going to be in the county court of Dimmit County, right? And the charge that's brought against me is where is it? Let's see. Hold on one second. Let me go get it. I want to read it to you. All right, hold on. Okay, I'm back. I'm gonna be showing you all the documents. Well, not all today, right now, but eventually through time. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so they brought this charge against me through a complaint. Okay, and this complaint is filed by the Dimmit County attorney. His name is Daniel M. Gonzalez. He is the Dimmit County attorney for Dimmit County, Texas. He is an elected official. Okay, and he filed this complaint. Okay, and so I'm going to flip the screen and I'm going to show y'all exactly what it is that he filed against me. Okay, I am being charged with failure to render aid causing an accident in vehicle more than $200. Really? Because this is at a apartment complex where there are cameras everywhere, right? And it, watch, let me show you. Okay. Okay. So I really don't know if y'all can see it. Let me see if I can turn. There you go, flashlight. Okay. I'm going to try to hold it there for just a moment. Right. Tell me if y'all can see the paper. It's called the complaint. All right. It says, in the name and by authority of the state of Texas, before me, the undersigned authority on the day did personally appear, complainant who, being personal, swears that he has good reason to believe and does not believe that. And then it has an X right here, and it says, I have good reason to believe and do believe based upon the following information, right? That's the victim statement, okay, that I have not yet been able to see, okay, which they are required to give me, okay, but I have not gotten it yet. I filed my discovery request on the 8th. And then it says, And I heretofore am before making and filing this complaint on or about the third day of July 2022 in the county of Dimmit in the state of Texas. Defendant Michael Andres Cadena, then my date of birth, and then my license number, and then there intentionally and knowingly drive a vehicle that became involved in an accident resulting in damage to vehicle. Let's see. And there did after knowingly the accident had occurred, intentionally and knowingly leave the scene of the accident without giving his name, address, registration number of the vehicle the defendant was driving, or the name of the defendant's motor vehicle liability insured to Maria Cristina Ledma. Okay, so that's a real person, guys. Okay, she lives here in Carrizo Springs, Texas. Okay, I'm not going to be attacking her. Okay, I'm not going to be talking bad about her. I'm just going to be talking about my trial. Okay, who was the driver of the vehicle collided with, and the damage of the vehicle collided with resulted in a pecuniary loss of $200 or more. Okay, and then down here it says to wit, right? It says, see, and all this right here, okay, we know that Maria did not write that, okay, obviously, okay, and then it says to wit, it says on July 3rd, 2022, at approximately 9:30 p.m., I, Deputy Julio Fuentes, okay, and he is a real cop here in Carrizo Springs, okay, but he is no longer a Dimmit County Sheriff Deputy, just so y'all know, okay, he now works for the school, with the Carrizo Springs Independent College, whatever it's called, Independent School District thing, Consolidated Independent School District. Okay, so it says, Julio Fuentes, badge number 726, he was a Dimmit County deputy at the time, was dispatched to Dimmit County Communications, by the Dimmit County Communications to the elderly apartments at 211 North 4th Street in Carrizo Springs, Texas, 78834, Dimmit County. Okay, guys, apartments at 211. Okay, 211 means apartment 211, just for your information. Okay, and then it says, in reference to a possible physical altercation in progress, while at the scene, I spoke to Maria Cristina Ledma, who stated after the physical altercation, Michael Cadena attempted to flee the scene and in the process reversed into her silver 2014 Dodge Journey, displaying the license plates, and this is the license plates, right, to the truck that I was in, causing damage in the vehicle, had her children inside. Wow. Maria stated Michael then sped off prior to my arrival. Right, so then it's a failure to render aid, causing accident to vehicle more than $200, Class B misdemeanor, right? And I'm like, okay, but this is just like a complaint for one charge of this, and if it and then she's claiming that her children were inside, right? Okay, later on I'm gonna be showing y'all the actual police report, right, where it doesn't even say anything to the effect that they are charging me with anything that has to do with that, right? I don't know what that would be called, right? But anyways, I just wanted to show y'all what the complaint looks like. I got this copy at the Dimmit County clerk's office. Okay, I went and took a trip to the Dimmit County clerk's office in Carrizo Springs, Texas, and I just asked them, you know, what was going on, because you know, how did it happen? I knew that, oh yeah, my bondsman called me and said that I had court, right? And for me to be there at court, because he was a bondsman and that's his job and whatever. And so I'm like, all right, thanks, right? But I remember that I just really didn't, it's not that I didn't trust my bondsman, right? I just didn't feel comfortable knowing that that was the only date that I was going to have in relation to me knowing anything about my court date. right? So I think I want to say he told me I had a court date on a certain day, right? And well, I just called the Dimmit County Clerk's office and I told him, yes, am I scheduled to have court, you know? And so they look it up, right? And they tell me, well, yes, you do have court, right? But and I don't have the dates right in front of me right here, right? But I remember that it wasn't the date that the bondsman had told me. He told me a different date, which was like about a couple of days later after when I really had court. So if I would have just relied on just what the bondsman had told me, and I'm not gonna say his name, okay, because he is actually a really good friend of mine, okay, then he probably just gave it to me wrong, right? And that's all it was. I really don't think that he was trying to set me up for failure. It was just a simple mistake. He argues. I've told him this before, and he argues to me that he did not give me the wrong date, but he did. Okay. Anyways, okay. So I find out the date that I really have court. Okay, and that court date is the arraignment hearing. Okay, and man, that arraignment hearing was some pretty good stuff. And actually, it wasn't. Okay, and and while I'm there at the Dimmit County courthouse and I get this complaint, right? Okay, I notice some things that are particularly not right, just with this complaint alone. Okay, so I'm going to be showing to y'all the things that are not accordingly and the way it should be. Okay, so let me show you the complaint again. Okay, so the things that I've noticed, okay, about this complaint, okay, is one, okay, this is a complaint, okay, it is a sworn complaint, okay, that was done by Maria Ledma, right? Date of birth of 12/01/1988. Okay, so if you live in Carrizo Springs, Texas, we all know who this is. Well, not everybody, right? But I mean, it's a small town. Okay. Okay, so here's what I noticed. Okay, so the person who notarized this complaint, here it is. Okay, is a guy named Roy Ortiz. Okay, people, this guy Roy Ortiz, guess where he works at? He actually works right here at the Carrizo Springs Elderly Apartments. He is the office manager. Like seriously. And his real entitlement job position is called the Dimmit County, the Carrizo Springs Housing Authority Deputy Director. Okay, so that is who he is. Okay, okay, and apartment 211, okay, is Maria Ledma's mother's home. Okay, that is Corina Ledma's sister. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if I remember correctly, and so does everyone else, I was with Corina Ledma. Okay, when supposedly all this had happened at that place. Okay, I was with her, and they didn't mention her, right? As a matter of fact, they didn't even mention anything about the security cameras at the actual apartments. Um, because I remember the mom had invited us in, and we were there first. We'd actually even spend the night there, right? And if you pay attention, everyone, if you can go on Google Maps right now, on Google Earth, and you can type in this address of 211 North 4th Street in Carrizo Springs, Texas. And if you just do that, okay, and you look at the map's person view, and you zoom into apartment at the corner, right? There's a corner apartment, right? And that's 213. And there's a camera right above the front door. But if you go more to the right, okay, you will see that there is another camera right above the door of apartment 211. Okay, so people, from the moment that I walk out, and yes, I was there. That's what I'm saying. Okay, that the moment that I walk out, there's a camera right in front of the door, and it can see you. Okay, it can see you, and it's pointed in the direction of the 4th Street parking lot where I was parked. Okay, and that's what I'm trying to get at. Okay, they're not mentioning any of this stuff in there. Okay, or I'm saying that, you know what, that's not exactly the way it happened, that I did this intentionally. No, what I'm saying is I was attacked, right, by this person's boyfriend and herself. Okay, where they can be seen on camera chasing my truck while we were reversing, okay, and everything is on camera. Okay, there is a camera on apartment number 203. They're pointing at the 4th Street parking lot. There is a camera mounted on the outside building of apartment 209. Okay, and that is pointed right in front of my truck, facing my truck's windshield. Okay, like seriously. Okay, and then there's the camera that is pointed on apartment 213, right, which is that apartment that I was at, the mom's house. And then right next door, there's another camera facing the 4th Street street. Okay, so my man, and you know what? On the officer's police report, okay, there isn't any mention of the existence of any video surveillance camera. Why not? Right? Well. Let's wait and let's talk about this. Okay, you see this guy who's notarizing this complaint. Okay, this guy is the apartment manager, right? Okay, and guess what, everyone? Okay, he as the apartment manager. Okay, he is also in charge of the security video system that's there. This guy, Roy Ortiz. Okay, and I don't know, but on one of the supplemental police reports that I got from the prosecutor, okay, he's not listed as Roy Ortiz. They list him on the police report as Rogelio, Rogelio, Rogelio Ortiz. And I'm like, but wait a minute, his name is notarized as Roy Ortiz. But if that's not his real name, well, then this is fraud. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Right, but I'll be talking more about that police report later on. But as of right now, okay, so I'm showing y'all the complaint that I had gotten, okay? And you will notice what else is wrong with this complaint is that this file stamp right here, okay, is signed by Belinda Sandoval, okay, deputy clerk, okay, that's who that is. Okay, I know because I went there to the courthouse and I spoke with Belinda herself on 5th Street in the courthouse, and I asked her for a copy of this complaint, and OMG, they would not want to give me this complaint. I'm like, man, they just didn't want to give it to me, right? Belinda, at first I called her. Usually what I do, okay, is I call ahead and I plan ahead so that there isn't really too many issues, right? And I'm telling them, okay, Belinda, can I just have a copy of the complaint so I can see it, right? I'm not going to tell her that I'm going to, right? That I always do this, right? I always ask for one document, right? And then when I get there, because I know I got that document, right? And then I tell them, well, you know what? Since I'm here, can you please? And it's all just to prove that, yes, you can give me that one document that you said that I couldn't have. But if you could give me that document, then why can't you give me all the other documents, which I'm going to show that I did get, right? And I'm trying to show people how to use this information that I'm doing in my own case, right, to actually work their own cases, okay? There's a lot of things wrong with this, okay? And the prosecutor really believes that he's just going to go ahead and just handle me, right? And I'm more than sure that, you know what? More than likely, I know he's a busy man. He doesn't have time to, or maybe he does, to be on YouTube watching videos, and he probably really doesn't know who I am and what I do, and the 16,000 subscribers that I have watching my channel, and the many things that I've done in many courts that I've been in, So he just is just astonished at what I'm doing, right? Every time we go to court, right, it has just been very impressive on how they are just astonished on how the way I'm speaking in court. Okay, watch. Let me fast forward real quick, right, and let me talk about the arraignment hearing. Okay, so at the arraignment hearing, at the arraignment hearing, I'm there, and I've already filed my paperwork for court. I've already filed my defendant's response to the complaint and information page that was filed by the Dimmit County attorney, Daniel Gonzalez. I've already responded to that. Okay, and that was like a 20 something page document that I wrote, and I pointed all the errors that they had done wrong, everything. Okay, I pointed out that the complaint that he filed, okay, well, first of all, okay, it did not have any seal from the court, which is it's supposed to have that anything filed in there. They're supposed to have a seal, and in the Texas statutes, right, it specifically states that the county clerk shall make a seal for the court. Okay, so this is designed by himself, customly, right? And there is no damn seal on the document on the complaint. As a matter of fact, not nowhere on the document does it even say that the county prosecutor is filing that complaint. Why not? I mean, I know it was him. You want to know why I know it was him? Okay, because the clerk who signed the file stamp, okay, she told me so. Right? Because I already knew that the complaint can only be filed by a Dimmit County attorney, right? Okay, and then get this, okay? Watch. Let me go back. Okay, so this complaint, look, it's a magistrate Dimmit County. Okay, so guys, this is supposed to have a judge's name here. Okay, the magistrate deputy, the magistrate. I'm sorry, magistrate Dimmit County says, not deputy. Okay, this is supposed to be a justice of the peace. Okay, that is the same person who issues out a warrant, and in this case, here's a warrant. Okay, you guys ever wonder how a warrant looks like? Well, there it is. Okay. Um, let's see. I'll go back to this one. I want to also show this one. Okay. Here are two complaints. Okay. When I got the warrant, okay, when I got the warrant, that one, and I got this complaint, I noticed that this complaint didn't have a file stamp, and this one did. Okay, so this one I got from the clerk's office. Okay, and this one I got from the prosecutor himself. He e-filed it, right? And I'm like, sir, um, they're different. I mean, they really are, all right? Okay, they're both supposed to be done in the justice court of the precinct that where the charges alleged to have happened. It's not, okay? But as you can see, this one right here, okay, the one that is filed timestamp, okay, that one, okay, does not include a time, and it should, okay? So that's not the county prosecutor's fault. That is Belinda Sandoval's fault, okay? And I'm just pointing all this out, okay? Okay, guys, so you guys ever wonder whenever you see the movies, right? And there's a part, right, where it seems like it's got the jury there, right? And they're reading the charges against you, right, before the trial starts, right? And it's like, where does that come from? Where does that paper? What is that paper that they're reading, right? You ever wonder that, right? Well, I'm gonna show you what that is, okay? And that is called the information page, okay? And I'm in Texas, okay, but I'm pretty sure this is everywhere else too, just a little bit differently, okay? But in Texas, okay, in chapter 36, right, of the Texas, let me see. I'm gonna read it all right. Okay, this is the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. Okay, this is Title 1. It is called Code of Criminal Procedure, Chapter 36, the trial before the jury. Okay, and in Article 36, you know what? Let me just show you guys. Okay, and it says Article 36, .01, Order of Proceeding Trial. It says a jury being impaneled, right, in any criminal action, except as provided in subsection of this article, okay, the cause shall proceed in the following order. And it says, well, number 1, the indictment or information, okay, shall be read to the jury. by the attorney prosecuting. So that is Daniel Gonzalez, the Dimmit County attorney. When prior convictions are alleged for purposes of enhancement only and are not jurisdictional, the portion of the indictment or information reciting such convictions shall not be read until the hearing of the punishment on the punishment is held as provided. Okay. So right here, let me see. Okay. The indictment or the information shall be read to the jury. Okay. So what information are they talking about? Okay, I'm going to show you that. Okay. So this right here is the information. Let me take it out, because then y'all won't be able to see it. This is the information page. Okay, that's what it's called, statutorily. This is called information for failure to stop and render or give information damage to unattended vehicle attended vehicle. All right, and this is the actual cause number that they're saying is a cause number that really isn't, what the law actually states that a cause number should even look like. Right. I mean, I thought that it was supposed to have the year, somewhere in there, and I also thought that it was supposed to have CR for criminal, right? But I guess they don't know how to number court documents correctly. I mean, I'm sure they do. I don't know why they're doing that. There's nothing to make me believe that I'm even in criminal court. I mean, to tell you straight up, this is how I feel, and that's how I've told them. I've even asked them to give me a copy of the docket, calendar. I want to see it. Right, because I know that for a fact that the statute says that the trial that is scheduled, right, should be included and scheduled on the docket, and they refuse to show it to me, right? As a matter of fact, everybody gets all scared every time I ask for it. That I've never seen it, I don't know if anyone ever has. I mean, Prieto County posts theirs online, but these guys won't even give it to you, which is ridiculous, right? Anyways, so before you go to trial, right, the county prosecutor, right, is always going to be in every county, right, in district, right, here in Texas, and I'm pretty sure it's like this everywhere else, because that's what they do. They read the charges against you before the commencement of trial. Okay, so the part where they say whatever your name is, you are hereby charged with blah 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 blah. Okay, so this is what they're going to read before trial. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, I, Daniel M. Gonzalez, County Attorney of Dimmit, right, of Dimmit County, in said state, on the written complaint of Maria Ledma, right, a competent and credible person herewith filed in the county court in the Dimmit County, in the county of Dimmit, in the state of Texas, do present unto said court that on or about the 3rd of July 2022, and before making and filing this information, in the county of Dimmit and the state of Texas, one Michael Andres Cadena, defendant, did then and there intentionally and knowingly drive a vehicle that became involved in an accident resulting in damage to a vehicle, and defendant did thereafter, knowing the accident had occurred, intentionally and knowingly leave the scene of the accident without giving his name, address, registration of the vehicle of the defendant was driving, or the name of the defendant's motor vehicle liability insurer, to Maria Cristina Ledma, who was the driver of the vehicle collided with, and the damage of the vehicle collided with resulted a pecuniary loss of $200 or more. Right, and this was against the peace and dignity of the state, dated this 6th day of November 2023. So, guys, this attorney filed this information page on the 6th of November. Okay, because it says that right here too. Okay, but you see how he puts his little signature, and he puts that it's him, and we all know that this document is from and filed by him. Okay. But it is not known who the heck filed any of these two documents, okay? And the reason, okay, so this is the one that I got at the clerk's office, and Belinda gave this to me, okay, and I got this one through a email, via email from the from the county attorney himself, okay. And the reason why I had gotten another copy of it, right, was because like I'm going through all my, right, everything that's there. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, my curiosity, right. Let me show you. Hopefully this can help everybody. Okay, but me knowing all the stuff I know about courts, right? You know, it is my right to know what is being filed against me. I'm supposed to be served anyways, and they're not serving me any of these documents. Can't prove that they served me any of these documents, and it's ridiculous, right? And so I'm not too happy about that, right? Because, you know, since I'm there at court and they've already given me the complaint, right? I tell Belinda, okay, Belinda, you know what? Let me just have everything that's on file. And she prints me out, you know, a page or two, and I'm just still not convinced that that's everything, right? So how do I make sure that that's everything, right? Well, I know that there's something that the Texas state law, right, statutory law, says that the clerk of the county clerk of the court shall create an index, right, for the docket, right? And what this is pertaining to is this is the actual table of contents of the documents that are filed in a case. And if I had this, then I would know exactly what files are filed against me, right? Okay, call it a table of contents, if you will, right? The papers filed in your court case, right? In Bexar County, this is called your case summary. If you're in Bexar County, Texas, you're in San Antonio, Texas, and maybe other places, if you ask for the case summary, that is a page that will tell you exactly every document that is filed in your case. Okay. It will tell you the name of the person who filed it. It will tell you what date it was filed. It will tell you. It will tell you if there's any hearings scheduled or any other court-related event. Damn, this is a very powerful document that you want, right? And it's not even in. It's not even the documents itself yet, right? Okay, and that's what I want, right? That's what I want from Belinda when I'm there getting this complaint that I showed y'all. I want the rest of that documents. And I'm going to know for sure if she's telling me the truth or not just by asking her for the case summary. Okay? But you know, in Dimmit County, there at the clerk's office, the county clerk's office, they just didn't seem to know what the heck that was. And I'm like, BS, right? That you can't not know what that is, right? And so I explain it to them what I'm asking for, right? And I'm like, you know, the paper that tells you what everything is filed in the court. God, you know, it tells you the names of the documents. It tells you the date that it was filed. Come on, you know what I'm talking about. What do you call it? San Antonio calls it the case summary, right? And they just were acting like they didn't know. And I'm not too happy about that. And they're like, we can't give you all that. I'm like, why not? It's public record anyway. You could be my enemy, right? And if you wanted to know exactly what it was that was filed against me, you have to still give it to me, right? And I don't even like the guy. Like, that is true. Okay? It's open record. Something about someone and you want to verify that it's true, we'll just take a field trip to the courthouse and find out if it's true or not and quit arguing about it. Like, seriously, pay the fee and get out the way. Right? Straight up. I wanted to know what was filed against me. Okay. So she's not giving it to me. She's giving me a hard time. I go, you know what? Just let me talk to the boss, right? Let me talk to the manager. And who's that? Who's her manager? Because she's a deputy, a Dimmit County deputy clerk. So who's her boss? Well, her boss is going to be Mario Zuvia Garcia. I mean, he is the county clerk. He is the elected official. Okay? So if she ain't gonna give it to me, I already know that I've had trouble with clerks in the past, and I'm not trying to deal with her BS, you know? So I'm just gonna talk to the boss, right? So I talked to him, right? OMG, this guy is not giving me the document that I want. And I can't believe that I had to explain everything to him, right? And I'm like, come on, Mario, you know, man, you're the County clerk. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of that. We don't call that here. And he's telling me things like, stop calling and trying to compare it with Bear County, because this is Dimmit County. And I'm like, okay, I know, but you do realize the document that I'm trying to get. The Texas statutory law says that you're supposed to create that document, okay? But it doesn't say we're going to call it. So if you called it something else, okay, you need to let me know what this document is, because I want it. I'm like, come on, man. The document that says the list of all the papers filed in my case, I would like that. Right? And he takes he goes, just come over here with me. Right? But before that, okay, the reason why he finally gave to me, okay, was because I'm like, I was getting nowhere with him and frustrated. I told him, you know what? Can I just have a copy of the docket? You know, the docket calendar. Can I have a copy of the docket list? I just want to see if I'm actually on the court for this month, right? And he doesn't want to give me that. Heck no. As a matter of fact, he goes, no, I think I know what you're talking about. You know, the list of papers, right? Let's go over here and let me get it for you, right? And I follow him, right? And he talks to Belinda, right? Right? The clerks there. Right? He tells Belinda, go ahead and give him the paper in his folder, right? The document on that's stapled to the left, right? Page 5, right? Or page 4, whatever it was, right? And I'm like, what did you refer to? The document on the left of the folder? And I wrote that down on my notes. And I'm like, hey, what did you call it, right? Papers filed, the list of papers filed in my case. And then I wrote that, right? And I wrote the time that he said that, right? Now, I document everything because I want to remember. And so the clerk, right, Belinda Sandoval, she returns with this document, right? And I'm going to show it to you. Here it is, right? So here it is, guys. Here's the list of papers filed in my... OMG, this freaking guy. He knows what I'm talking about, okay? Oh my god, I can't believe this, man. This is just too freaking... Oh my god. Okay, and so this is failure to stop and render aid or give information, damage to attended vehicle. And here's the instruments that were filed. They're not called documents. This guy is literally doing this on purpose. Okay, he knows that I want all the documents, right? And before he give me, look, and it literally was stapled, okay, on my folder to the left, like he said. This freaking guy. Oh my god, this is too much, man. Right? And so, so at this point, I know that it says, I'm reading the comments right now. Oh, I appreciate that. You know, I'm just trying to get the truth out. That's right. Lynette, appreciate that. And Gabby, that cat, I hear you great. Appreciate that, Gabby. Big folk, what's up, man? All right, just responding to my comments. Okay, and so then the information, the complaint, the bond received from Libertad bail bond. Okay, guys, have y'all ever wondered? Let me see. Okay. Have y'all ever wondered, you know, if you're ever in jail, right? And not everybody goes to jail, right? But I went to jail for this, unfortunately. Right? But have you ever wondered, before you get out of jail, right? And there's a paper that you signed, right? And then they're supposed to do this, but they make you put your thumbprint on the paper, okay? And it's your bond paper, like literally, okay? Whatever happens to that document? Where did it go? Right? You ever wonder that? Because I'm going to show you, you know, the document right now. Yes, I'm going to show you. Okay, so here it is. Okay, turn on the light. Bam! Here it is. This one I'm not going to take out of the paper because it says my address right there, and I really don't want that, you know, out there. Okay, but the document that I signed that got me out of jail, my bond. Okay, here it is. Okay. Okay, and guess what? What do they do with that document? They take in deputy clerk. That's what it's supposed to say, right? And this was filed on the 6th, okay, which is, let's see, same date that this was filed by same person, the clerk. There's my fingerprint, guys. Okay, and anyways, so So here it is, right? Later on, you can come back and press pause, whatever, and see this video, see this document very nicely. I'll go ahead and upload it on my page on Facebook and on YouTube, so y'all can download the document if y'all want to. Of course, I'll take all this information out. And here's the back of the document. Okay, this is just showing the company who bailed me out. Okay, if y'all need to make bail and y'all are down here, y'all know who to call. Just kidding. I mean, I guess they always get people out. Okay, this is called the Oath of Cherries. Okay, the actual document was 2 pages, so it's front and back, obviously. Okay, but this is something that I just find very interesting. Interesting. Down here it says sheriff, and it says clerk of the district court, and I'm like, man, clerk of the district court. I mean, the sheriff is the sheriff. He's not the clerk. I honestly don't know what the heck all that is about. Okay. But anyways, man, there's just a lot of stuff. Okay. Oh man, the connection's messing up. Yeah, everybody, I'm gonna have to talk about this. When I'm not doing a live stream, because I noticed that and I really am in a bad service area, right? So I really should be talking about this on other videos, which I am. Okay, and trust me, I have not been able to post any of this stuff because making videos is very time consuming for me, because I like to be very artistic. My videos and my animations and my music, and you know what I mean. I love doing all that, right? But today I wanted to talk to you about me going to trial, right? And there's a lot of things that is wrong, right, with what they're doing to me. Okay, one, the way they wrote all this makes the court to believe that all that really did happen, when that's not exactly the way it happened. They are failing to mention of the many cameras that apartment complex actually has, and then the video evidence that can help me and prove that what these people are saying is a lie. Okay, this evidence that they are omitting from the court did exist, and I can prove that it was omitted, because the officer, okay, that wrote the report, and I'm going to show you that too, okay, that he wrote on his report, okay, um, like 5 paragraphs, and in those 5 paragraphs, okay, it does not talk about anything about any surveillance cameras. Okay, and they're saying that I was at 211 North 4th Street in Carrizo Springs, Texas. Okay, but they forgot to mention that there's a camera right above the front door. It is an elderly apartments complex, right? So they watch over the elderly. It makes sense, right? And we were visiting my friend Corina Ledma, right? Her mom's house. She invited us over, right? She invited me in. I didn't even want to go in, right? But she convinced me. She's a nice, sweet old woman, right? And I have nothing bad to say about her. She's good in my book, like straight up. Thank you, Juanita Ledma, for inviting me to your home. Like seriously, right? Because she was like one of the best, motherly figured, personality that was just so wholesome and good. Like seriously, and she didn't say anything bad about me, right? Because she can't, right? Because I didn't do anything wrong, right? I believe that she really didn't see anything that had happened, right? And that's the reason why, right? But they're calling her as a witness, and I would love to actually have a chat with her in front of everyone, so that it can be understood, you know, the type of situation that we were actually in. It was a peaceful environment before any of these other people had shown up, right? That the people that showed up actually caused, right, the disturbance. And that's what needs to be known, right? And it was just a very bad day. It really was, right? This paperwork here is making the court believe that I just reversed and crashed and took off, right? And that's not true. They're forgetting the part where I was chased by the complainant, right? By Maria Cristina Ledma, by Eric Titsworth. Okay, they're forgetting that part. They're forgetting that in while I was reversing, because there's a camera right in front of where I was parked, like with mini cameras pointing at the parking lot. They're forgetting to include the parts that I was being chased, and then while being caused into an accident by these people. Okay, that right after the accident, and the accident itself was on video, like seriously, right in front of the 4th Street apartment complex. Okay, where's that video? Right, they forgot to include that, right, in the police report, and they didn't mention any of that, right? But what happens after I get into the crash, right? Because I'm not saying I didn't get into the crash. I'm actually saying I did, but I'm actually saying also that right after being chased and we had crashed, that they caught up to us and they started attacking our vehicle. Like seriously, me and Cordino were inside, right? And they're just hitting my dad's truck, right? Well, he gave it to me, right? It's not officially on paperwork, but you know what? A man's word is his bond. And I already had the truck for 30 days, at least, right? If not more, right? So it's my responsibility. I'm in possession of the truck, right? It was a gift to me from my dad, okay? All we have to do is registration. That's all that there is, okay? But my truck, right, is now being attacked, right? And Eric's trying to open my door and trying to get me out, and that's what really happened, and all that is on camera. Like seriously, right? People are scared to talk about their court case and or you're going to trial while you're saying all this because that's what really happened. Like if I said anything else, it would be a lie. But all of this is on camera, right? And because we were being attacked, right? Me and Corina are inside the truck, and we're just like, I just had a crash, right? And I'm thinking in my head, I need to stop. I need to wait for police. I need to wait for a accident report to be taken, right? I mean, I know the steps, but I can't because I'm being attacked, and Eric's just hitting my driver's side window, and this is all on camera, right? And I'm like, he's gonna break my window, right? And then my dad's gonna see that, and he's gonna be pissed, and I'm like, and eventually, you know what? I felt like, you know what, this was a little bit too dangerous for me, right? Because I don't know what else he's gonna pull out. I don't know what else is gonna happen, right? If that glass breaks, it's gonna hit me in the face. And you know what? Yeah, you know what? Say what you want, but I left in fear for my life. I did. I really did. Okay? And on camera, it will show, okay, that I didn't just leave, right, without knowingly, right, of me knowing the accident had occurred. Man, I left because they attacked me and they hit my truck and they were hitting my truck, right? And I left because of that, right? Over here on all this paperwork, they're saying all kinds of, that, you know, that I knowingly and intentionally left the scene, hit the vehicle, and that's not the way it happened. Heck no, right? And so I requested for my discovery, right? I requested my discovery, right? Requesting the video surveillance cameras, the footage, right? Specifically, the cameras mounted above the front door, right above apartment front door 211 and 213, and the camera mounted on apartment on the side wall, front side facing the parking lot of apartment 209 and apartment 203 facing the direction of apartment 211 and the parking lot on 4th Street. Do you see how many cameras that there is, like, that captured this entire event? And the officer did not even and I'm reading your comment right now. It says, let's hope that the camera footage from the right from the flat doesn't appear. Right. I'm sure you mean the apartments, right? It doesn't disappear. Well, let me something, okay? So let's fast forward in time. That happened on July 3rd. All this stuff, July 3rd, right? And recently of last year, on November 6th, okay, this complaint information page was filed, okay? Like, oh my, OMG, right? Like almost 2 years later, they filed this. A year and a half later, right? They filed it, right? And I'm like, you know what? Let me just go talk to the guy at the apartments, right? And I didn't have a copy of the police report, because the first thing I did was, when I got out of jail, I went straight to the Dimmit County Sheriff's Department, and I got a copy of the police report. Right? It's called the incident report. right? And as soon as I walked out of the department, as soon as I got out from there, okay, I had a I had the police report in front of me, and I said, you know what? Something told me in my head, take a picture of it before you leave. Take a picture of it, right? Because I know I have my geotag locations on, right? My GPS tags, right? I have always enabled, so I know where I'm at exactly whenever I took any picture. I love it, right? And so I took a picture, or two pictures, right? Because it was 2 pages, right? And it shows where I'm at, okay? So I have that police report too, right? And later on, for a little bit, I had lost it, right? But I always had that, right? But I wanted the actual document again because I found out that on November 6th, I've had a complaint filed against me. And so, like, you know what? I have it right here in my photos, in my Google photos, right? But I want it actually the one that was, another one, paper form. So I start calling them, and I always found out that, in my experience, it's easier if you call before you go, right? And you explain to it whatever it is that you want so that it's just less hassle for everybody, right? They appreciate that. So I was trying to explain to them of the document that I had previously gotten, this incident report, and they just didn't seem to find it. They kept telling me that, well, it's because they got a new system and they just updated it, and they just started putting everything in their new system, and it's probably in the old with the other older records and all this and that. And I'm like, well, I really need it. I just want to see it. And man, it took me a good days, if not weeks, to actually get. Let's see. I'll just keep it days, right? Now, I have this all logged, right? In my other videos, right, I'm going to be showing all this, right? So I speak to Elda Tijerina, okay? And yes, that is a real person. And she literally works there at the Dimmit County Sheriff's Department in Carrizo Springs, Texas. Let me explain to y'all what happened, okay? So I am there at the records department, okay? Um, because this was on August September 1st. I don't want to. I hate to give you all some wrong dates, right? But let's just say when I first got out of jail, I got a copy, right? So about a month later of when it actually happened. Now let's fast forward. Right? I had lost a copy. I'm getting another copy. Okay. How I got that second copy? Okay. Man, the troubles that I had to put myself through to get it. Okay. I did not was not getting anywhere with Elda Tejerina. Okay. So I went ahead and spoke to a sergeant, right? And the sergeant tells me this certain Ybarra, right? And that's his name. Okay, he's a real deputy there at the Dimmit County Sheriff's Department here in Carrizo Springs, Texas. He tells me, okay, to call again back on Monday, that they're and to speak to Captain Sergio Prieto, and he is the captain as of right now. To my knowledge, is still there. Okay, and he and but the sergeant tells me to call on Monday. Right. So I eventually speak to the captain, right? And I tell him that I feel like Elda Tejerina just did not want to give me the incident report that I wanted, right? And he tells me, okay, to go ahead and come back Monday. Um, I'm sorry. That was a sergeant. Okay, captain says, you know what? Let me look into it. Blah blah blah. Right, and I hang up. Right. And several minutes later, he calls back and he says that, okay, I have it. I have it for you. Um, it's ready to be picked up. I didn't have a ride. Okay, so I couldn't pick it up right then and there. But towards the night, I finally got my mother, right, to actually offer a ride. But it was too late. It's like nighttime already, 7ish. I think it was, right. And I call, right, to let them know I'm gonna go pick it up. And I even speak to the captain, right. He tells me no, I can't pick it up because the records department is closed, right, which is true, right. It was late, and so he tells me to come back on Monday, and I'm like, okay, right. So I come back. I'm sorry, not Monday, right. During the day, right, the next day. Eventually, I get the record, in the incident report, right, and he tells me that it's going to be up in the front. That's what he told me. Right? It's Sergio Prieto, the captain. Um, and he's a real captain there. Right? And he tells me that he has it there ready for me, left in the front. All I got to do is pay the fee. The fee is $6. Okay? So when I do get there, right? I show up, pretty early, and I ask him, "I'm Michael Cadeno, I'm just here to pick up the police report, the incident report, right? That the captain said he left here up in the front. May I have it? And I got the $6 right here, right? Um, and it was Elda, right? Tijerina, yeah, her. Okay, now I'm there. I'm telling her, if I can have it though, right? And she just seems to not be able to find it. Is the impression that I got, right? Man, I don't say nothing, right, anymore after that, right? No, and she tells me to hold on, and she goes to the back, and I'm there for a good minutes, like 10 minutes at not more, right? And I'm like, what is taking her so long, right? And she comes back, right? And she's holding up two documents, right? And she goes, here it is, right? I'm sorry, it was the print, right? It didn't it was running out of ink. And I'm like, what? Right in my head, right? And I didn't, whatever, I have it. And one of them's in black and white, and the other one is like black, white, and yellow. It's got, like, I don't know, it's got some yellow on there, right? And I'm like, and she blamed it on the printer because it was running out of ink. And in my head, I'm like, actually get home. And upon comparison, right? Because I have the one that I had taken a picture of, right, on my Google Photos, right? And I blow it up, right? And I take the one she gave me, and I'm reading them, and holy crud, they're different. Like, now I know why she didn't want to give me the actual document, right? Okay. And what's different about it is the complainant information. Like, whenever someone calls the sheriff's office and says, "I really need help," blah blah, and the dispatcher asks you for your name, right? Okay, and you give them the name, you are the complainant, just so you know. And on the deputy's report, he will write you as the complainant. And any other person you're saying is the person against you or did you wrong, whatever, they are, let me see, suspects, right? They are the suspects, okay? And the complainant who called the cops, right? He's the victim, also, right? Um, and other people too can be the victims too, right? And in this case, right, the complainant was listed as Maria Cristina Ledma, and it was listed as me and Corina as the suspects, and then it was listed as Lucinda Ledma as the victim, Juanita Ledma as the victim, and I'm like, what? And all that, OMG! I'm like they attack us, you know, and I thought that they were gonna just keep it hood, because I mean, I didn't do anything, I was like, they attacked me, and I just left, I'm not gonna call the cops, which I probably should have, right, but I just, because I didn't call the cops because you know what, they caused that accident, and you know what, having caused that accident, okay, their vehicle took a little damage because I wasn't going that fast. I was just reversing, for heaven's sake. You know what I mean? In a short distance too, like literally, like it was very short of a distance. Okay, um, and so I was like in my head, I'm like, well, I mean, take off, before it gets worse, and and it really was a scary situation. It really was. Okay, everything was happening so fast. He's really punching the window. It's not funny, but I try to make it, make me feel myself better about it, But the reality is that it was a very scary situation. You know what I mean? And all this is on video. Okay, so anyways, let's fast forward to the. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. Okay, the records department. Okay, so they're different, right? The complaints information. Previously, right, the complainant the original complainant, the original police report, I'm sorry, incident report, that was written and reported by the deputy Julio Fuentes, badge number 726 in Dimmit County. Okay, he's the one who wrote the report. He's the one that entered the information. And on the original report, okay, the first one that he wrote, he put the complainant as Corina Ledma. And I didn't catch that. And I'm like, why does it say Corina Ledma on there? Right? And I remember me turning on my hotspot when we were leaving because Corina kept on saying for me to turn on my hotspot, right? And so I turn it on, right? And then I'm thinking she wants to get a hold of someone, right? And you know what? I don't. She needs help, you know. She's wanting to communicate, you know. I know that feeling, right? She wants to reach out to someone, and I'm not gonna stop her, you know. And it makes her feel better, so I turn on my hotspot, and she's on the phone, whatever. And I don't know who she's writing to. I don't even care, you know. She has every right to whatever, right? But later on, I'm just in my head thinking, man, what if she's texting a cop, right? What if she's telling someone that's a police what just happened? I'm like, well, good. Because, I mean, they should watch the videos, right? That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, whatever. So I just ignored, right? You know, I noticed also that on the police report, right, that it says the shift supervisor um, is Louis or Louis Carmona, right? Well, you know what? Louis Carmona, okay, he was a sheriff deputy. I'm not sure if still is, right? But you know, there's some history. I'm not gonna go too much into it, okay? But a lot of people, if you're from Carrizo Springs, okay, y'all know this history. If you know these people, right, that there's history with Corina Ledma, right, and Carmona, right, okay, and that's all I'm gonna say, okay. So, but it's an established relationship. That part, right? But you know what? I'm thinking, well, maybe she's just texting him, letting him know, or I don't know, right? Maybe it's that really she's texting the sheriff's department first. Maybe it's that she really was the complainant, uh, you know, or whatever. I don't know, but whatever it was, the complaint is already been written. Okay, it was written by Julio Fuentes, that deputy. Okay, but for some reason it has changed, right? Now, if this was just a simple mistake by the deputy, okay, fine. Then go ahead and do a supplemental report and add the correct information. But you cannot, in any way whatsoever, change the original report that you wrote. You can't do it, right? Because that is tampering with a governmental record, straight up, right? So if you made a mistake and you're a cop and you wrote the wrong stuff on your report, you cannot change your official report. Okay, there's no going back. There's no. If I filed a document in court and I messed up, okay, well, guess what? It's filed in court. It is now a public record. And the only way I'm going to have that record removed is if I present that to the judge and I file a motion to strike record or a motion to strike whatever document it was, and the judge accepts it, right? Or maybe if I did it through oral or an oral motion, right, to have it removed. But that is the only way, okay? But it's okay. That's from court, right? But it's different for a cop, right? If he files a report, right, and he has passed it to the records department, he can no longer change that report because it's already been submitted. It's made, like that's it, done, okay. And what I caught is that it was actually changed, like straight up. I can read the comments. It says, "OMG, yeah, you can never have too much documentation, Michael. Yeah, small towns. Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, so somebody has changed the record, right? The report. So, what do I do with that information, right? Well, I try to do the right thing, right? I do, right? And you know what? I was just gonna go straight up to the Texas Rangers and just tell them about it. That because you know what? Guess what? The last sheriff that we had, he went to jail, right, for tampering with a witness and tampering with governmental records, and so you know what? We just got this new sheriff, Castaneda, Chris, right? And so I'm like, you know what? Give Chris a chance. give Chris a chance to let him know what's going on in his department at the records department with Elda Tijerina, right? But before I get there, right, I speak to the captain, right? And captain um, had the records there, and I picked them up, and they're different. So you know what? I first explained this to the captain, okay? And I tell the captain, right, sir, I'm gonna. I know I picked up the document that you said that you left there, right? But sir, I'm gonna have to ask you, or tell you, right, that I do question the integrity of that document, okay? Because you know what? I have two copies of that report, the one that you left and the one that I had before. I still have it, okay, sir? And they are completely different. And I'm not trying to cause any problems, or I'm not trying to point the finger at anyone, but can I please can I please have your email so that I can send you both copies of the incident report? And can you please tell me which is the one that you left for me on the in the front for me to pick up, right? Because I have to tell you, sir, okay, when I got there at the Dimmit County Sheriff's Department in the morning to pick up that document that you said that you left, okay, that Elda Tejerina was having a bit of a trouble trying to find that document. Okay, as a matter of fact, that it took me several minutes to get it. Okay, and then I explained to him that she had blamed it on the printer, and she had showed me the two documents, and I tell him, sir, Mr. Prieto, right, the captain, right, did the document that you have printed out for me up in the front, did it have the color yellow like on the boxes, right, or was it just black and white, right? And he tells me, no, no, no. Why don't you come over here in person, and why don't you bring the document with you, and we can settle this in person. And I'm like, man, I didn't like that at all. Like straight up, I felt like, you know what? Oh my god, like this OMG, right? Like he's just going to I'm gonna get there, and he's gonna take that document away from me, and he's gonna throw me in jail for something, right? It just wasn't gonna, it probably was not gonna happen, right? But that's just how I felt. I didn't feel safe to do that, and I'm like, no, sir, can I just have your email, and I'll scan both of them, and I'll send it to you, right? And he didn't want to give it to me. He said that he would like to handle it in person. I wasn't trying to do all that, right? I just wanted to show him, electronically, and so that could be on record too in his email. That's a government assigned email, right? And I'm like, cause use your brain, Mikey. Use your brain, right? What can I do? So I told him, look, sir, how about this? What type of software, right, is the software that the Dimmit County deputies use to enter the reports? What's the name of that software, right? And he's like, I'm not gonna tell you that. I can't tell you that. I'm like, okay, fine. Okay, you don't have to tell me that. But let's just say, okay, that the software that y'all use, okay, um, uh, can, what type of security, okay, features does it have, um, that enable the protection of the documents so that it doesn't be able to be modified, right, by anyone else? Right? He didn't like that, right? And I'm like, could you actually go back to the record, right, the digital record that's on file at the records department, and can you just check the property file information for that document, the report? And can you please tell me when was the last person that modified that document, or what date it was, right? And can you please just go check the cameras, right? Oh man, he did not like that either, right? Once again, he told me, no, I'd rather handle this in person, or whatever it was he said, right? And he didn't. His approach on how I was giving it to him, he didn't like, and it was giving me a very, very bad vibe, right? He, so he didn't. I didn't want to go in person, right? And he didn't want to answer any of my questions. And I told him, I gave him one more chance. I go, look, sir, how about this? If you can't come down here to where I'm at, right, and I invite you to come over, why don't you come down here to where I'm at, okay? And I will show you what I have, both versions of the document, and bring a deputy, make sure he has on so that he can show you what happened, right? Because I'm not going to give you okay, the actual document that she gave me, because that's my evidence, okay, that it's been changed, okay. And I remember some of the very last things that he had told me, right, was that I didn't have to come today, that if I didn't have a ride, just for me to come whenever, this week, next week, right. And I'm like, this guy, I wasn't getting anywhere with him. Ultimately, I reach out to the sheriff, right. I remember on Facebook, I'm going through Facebook and I see um, an ad, right, advertisement in the very beginning of this year, and the sheriff, the Dim County Sheriff's Department was posting some advertisement for a threat assessment that included the FBI showing up, the Texas Rangers involved, and the Dimmit County Sheriff's Department and San Antonio Police, right, or something like that. And everybody was going to be a big event, and everyone was, anyone could have showed up, right, but it was more directed and hosted by law enforcement. So anyone in the criminal, sector that likes all that stuff, right? Um, Everyone likes to go to these type of events, right? And read the comments. Thank goodness you are aware of what could be going on. They seem to be very sneaky. Always go with your gut instincts. That's from the net. The net. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Okay, so I saw that ad on Facebook posted by the sheriff's department, and on that ad, right, it says hosted or something. It says that it's being done with the people that the sheriff's going to be there, and it has his information and his cell phone number, his work cell phone number. So now I have the sheriff's number, right? And that's how I got it, right? And then it has the county judge Martha, Ponce Gomez. His long name, Martha Alicia Gomez Ponce, right? Or I might be saying that backwards, the Ponce Gomez, right? Right. But it has her work number too, right? So I got the judge's number, right? Her cell phone work number, right? But I decide first to reach out to the sheriff, right? And I tell the sheriff about this, and I show him all the documents that I've filed in court, right? And he say he's gonna look into it, okay? And you know what? It did nothing. I tried to give Chris the chance, okay? Now I'm not talking bad about him, but I'm just telling you that I gave him the chance to help me out and find out what was going, okay? Later on, I speak with the county prosecutor Daniel Gonzalez, right? And he tells me, right? I tell him, sir, you do realize that uh, the 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 incident report, okay, fails to mention the existence of any cameras there. Well, why is it that you think um, that the sheriff deputy is not in reporting any of this? And he's a mandated reporter because he's a law enforcement officer. He has to, by law, report everything. Well, why isn't he including any of the cameras? Okay, and there's a camera right in front of 211, the apartment number 211. Okay, and tell me why, he's just not, mentioning any of this, right? And then I tell the Dimmit County prosecutor Daniel, right? I tell him, Danny, I go, sir, tell me it's not what I think. Tell me that the officer is not intentionally omitting evidence, that could be exculpatory in nature, right? That could tend to show that I am innocent, right? So that you could ultimately avoid any Brady violations. Then you could say that you didn't know about any exculpatory evidence, that you have given me all the exculpatory evidence. You weren't aware of such any of existence of any exculpatory evidence because the officer failed to mention it on his incident report. Tell me that's not what's going on, right? What he's doing is aiding you um, in 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 any potential Brady violations, right? Is that what's going on, right? And man, he did not like that at all, right? Because I'm like, sir, I am telling you, there are cameras there at that apartment complex, okay, and you know about it because this courthouse that we're in right now, okay, or the county courthouse, right? When you go to court in Dimmit County and you go to the courthouse, right? Like straight up, if you're looking at the judge. Okay, like seriously. And you're in county court and they call your name and you're right in front of the judge. Okay, if you look this way to the right, there are windows. And if you look outside the windows, you will see the apartment complex, the Carrizo Springs elderly apartments. And if you just look outside the window, you can see the cameras. Like, what are they doing? Are you insane? Like, sir, you know that there are cameras at that apartment complex. Like, okay, you work here every day. Okay, well, not every day at the courthouse, because his assigned office is the old courthouse, the historic courthouse. Okay, but I go, sir, if we walk out this courthouse, okay, and we stand here right on the steps outside, let me point to you all the cameras that are here. I mean, at the apartment complex, okay? And so now he's just like, there is no cameras, you know. You know what? Hold on. And he picks up the phone, right? And he calls an investigator, right? And he goes, can you call the manager, right, of the apartment complex, the elderly apartment, whatever, and can you ask him about the parking lot video footage or whatever, right? And and he goes, was there any video footage in the report and all this and that, right? And I'm like, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing, right? Right? I didn't tell him that, and I'm like, this, you know, he's trying to get that officer to write a report that there is no evidence, so that his ass is covered, right? And I'm like, this freaking guy, like, whether that officer reports that there is none, okay, the fact of the matter is that him as a prosecutor, knowing that there is exculpatory evidence that does exist and did exist at one point, the fact that it's not there anymore, okay, if he goes to court without giving me the information or telling the court about it, that is an automatic Brady violation because I told him that it existed and he knows about it, right? Straight up, okay? And they're still wanting to bring me to court, right? And to top it off, like the complaint that I just showed y'all previously in this video, okay, it only talks about about me crashing into their vehicle, right? And left out the parts that they were chasing me, and that's on video, and that you could see that, and that the reason why I left was because I was being attacked. Like, it forgot all those parts, but all this is on video. Like, do you understand why it's very important for me, for them to present this evidence, right? By law, they are supposed to, right? Any evidence, right, that tends to show, right, the or mitigate, you know, the actions of guilt, right, on a defendant, right? In other words, if it's showing that if evidence exists and it's there and it shows that a defendant is guilty, the prosecutor must include it to the defense in discovery. And I've already submitted my discovery request, okay? Man, there's just so many things, okay? But see, you get a Brady violation in your favor if you don't talk about it, okay? But it's not enough that I was talking about it to Mr. Daniel Gonzalez, right? Because only me and him know about that conversations, nobody else. So you gotta file, like what I'm doing now is I am now having to file, right, about the conversation, and I already did, of the look, if they're trying to do me wrong, okay, and if I lose, right, my trial, okay, I'm setting myself up in a manner where, you know what, I know this court was gonna do me wrong. You know, who cares? Because you know what, I have everything that I filed on record, okay. I showing that I showed the prosecutor that there was evidence that was in my favor. I've shown the judge that I've shown the prosecutor that there was evidence in my favor, exculpatory in nature, right? That that has been withheld, right? You can't do that. You can't do that. The prosecutor cannot just hide evidence, right? And if he's not hiding, right, and he's been made aware, he's supposed to investigate and find out what happened to that evidence. And he's not doing that. He's doing so in a manner where he knows that evidence existed, and now he's just trying to still litigate this suit against me. He's still trying to prosecute it, right? And there's just so much things that I have found wrong in my case, it is crazy. Watch, to top it off, okay? I'm like, you know what? I always tell people, because people always tell me, man, I have a warrant for my arrest, or they arrested me because I have a warrant. And what is the first thing that I tell people? Well, have you seen the warrant? And they tell me, well, no, but I mean, I know I had a warrant. How do you know? You didn't see the warrant. Shoot, if I'm in a vehicle and I'm the passenger and they're taking the driver in because they say he had a warrant, and then the officer comes back again and says, can you step out the vehicle? Can you please show me your ID? I'm going to tell him, for what? Right? And he's like, well, we want to check you for warrants. I'm like, well, either you have it or not. You can check me for warrants, right? Because I don't have to identify myself. Section 3802 of the Statute Penal Code of Texas clearly states that I don't have to identify myself. Right? Unless I'm lawfully or legally being arrested. And sir, I ain't doing no crime. Right? Straight up. I mean, I have so many videos where I'm saying these things. Right? So either you got a warrant or you don't. Okay? And that's how I always approach it. Okay? It is sad the way that I have to handle my situations and present myself. It is sad that I have to be that way. Because if I don't invoke my rights, I know exactly what's going to happen. Okay, they're going to make it another way, however they want, right? And we all know that this is true. It can go either way. If I don't catch it on video the way it really happened, nobody will ever know, right? That's the reason why I post videos, right? Because then if I don't, well, nobody will know it's true, right? It's very frustrating, you know what I mean? It is very frustrating. I'm going to read the comments again. It says, Lynette, you put, and these people are responsible for the law. No wonder the world is a mess. Yeah, man. They're law enforcement. So you're right, right? They are given a position wherever they're at, whoever they are. If they work anything that has to do with the judicial system, law enforcement area, yeah, we hold them in a public position of trust, right? They are given that, right? I do solemnly swear, right, to preserve and protect and defend the Constitution of the United States and in the laws of the state too, right? I might be a little bit off, right? But yeah, that's what they say, right? It also says, let me add the parts that I skipped, right? It says, I, whatever their name is, right? Well, in the duties, will I, their name, right, will faithfully execute, right, duties, while in the office of sheriff deputy or police officer or whatever it is, right, and to preserve, protect. That's what it says, like literally, for them to faithfully execute the duties of their office. Well, does a county attorney, is he faithfully executing duties owed to him by the oath he took by proceeding in a criminal action against me while knowing that there is exculpatory evidence that exists, exculpatory in nature, right? That proves my innocence, right? And even that if it didn't exist anymore, right? But because it does, it did exist at one time. If it was destroyed, if it was lost, if it was mutilated, if it was however they describe it in law, if it's not there anymore, okay, then they can't proceed anymore, right? Because you know what? That same video that proves that I'm innocent, can actually prove that I'm not, if it did exist, and if this did happen the way that they're saying that it happened, like straight up, right? So why wouldn't they want to find this video? You think that I would be telling the prosecutor to find this video, right? If I was guilty, I'm like, I want him to find this video because then it will show that I was attacked, right? I was chased, I was attacked, and that's the reason why I left, right? And they're saying that it was an attended vehicle, right? Right, meaning that it had occupants and that there was a driver and I collided with the other driver. who's the driver? Because if you see the cameras, you will see that driver running after me and then hitting my vehicle. Right? It's BS, this entire freaking case. Okay, but this is what they're doing to everybody. Okay, it just they're doing. It's not just me they're doing wrong. They're doing a lot many other people wrong. Okay. Well, let me give you a little bit some more of what just happened and how far to the extent that I went. Okay, so I went and I said, you know what? Because I'm telling everybody, about the warrants. Have you seen the warrants, right? So I go, Michael, have you seen your warrant? Well, no, I hadn't. I hadn't seen it all. So what do? I take a trip to the precinct number 1 and 2, and I go ahead and I speak with the judge. Right, the judge who actually wrote it, right, was Justice of the Peace, Alberto Esquivel, right, and everybody calls him Pito, right, Pito, Pito, right. He's the one that issued the warrant, okay. So I really want to speak to him, okay, but I really didn't speak to him because you know what? He's not even the one who magistrated me, which was Sonia, right, Guerrero Perez, right. I'm talking real names, guys, that are really in Dimmit County. She's a justice of the peace also, who magistrated me for the warrant that Pito issued. Huh. I mean, I'm not a judge, right? But you would think that if I was a judge, that if I issued out a warrant on someone and it was being returned and it was faithfully executed, that I would want to see that warrant back that I signed, right? I'm just saying. Okay, but no, that's not the way it happened. I was being magistrated over the phone, right, in jail by Sonia, and I'm like, and so, anyways, before I go to the courthouse again, right, which is across the elderly apartments, it has Justice of the Peace Precinct 1 and 2. Those offices are in the newer courthouse, right? It's called the Annex Building, okay, which is across the elderly apartment complex, right? So before I go there, I call the court, right? The JP office, right? In the precinct 2 and 1, right? And I remember speaking to a woman by the name of Miss Sanchez, okay? And Miss Sanchez, okay, used to be the lieutenant at the Dimmit County Jail for years, like straight up years. Everybody knew Miss Sanchez. Miss Sanchez, Miss Sanchez, Miss Sanchez. That's all we knew her by. I never knew her real name, her first name, okay? Until I got a copy of the warrant that she gave me, okay? Okay, her name is Alicia. I'm sorry, right? And while I'm there, okay, I'm sorry. So let me tell you how hard and difficult it was to get this warrant from her. I told her, ma'am, I'm calling because I would like to have a copy of the warrant, right, and the arrest affidavit by the officer who helped get the warrant issued. May I have it? Can you send it to me via email? What's your email address? Right? And I get her email address, right? But, she's arguing to me like, the warrant? We can't give that to you, right? I'm like, why not? I mean, I've gotten it everywhere else, and I'm like, why does it seem like you're the only one that gives me because I spoke to her on several occasions, right? Trying to obtain this warrant. And back then, I even believed it, right? And I'm like, wait a minute. There's warrants posted online. Hey, I showed you the warrant right now, right? And I'm like, ma'am, you do realize that it's public information? I'm saying I'm Michael Cadena on the phone right now, but I could be his worst enemy. And I'm just calling you because, you know what? I just want to see the warrant issued on Michael Cadena. And I also want to see the arrest affidavit that was that helped give probable cause to issue that warrant. Okay? But you still have to give it to me if I'm Michael Cadena, like straight up, right? And she goes, well, yes, that's true, right? I'm like, so there's no reason for me to lie. I really am Michael Cadena. And I want to have the warrant that was issued against me, right? The warrant of arrest. And I want to have the arrest affidavit. So can you please give it to me when I go pick it up or send it to my email? And she's telling me that, oh my God. So she's telling me, well, we don't normally do that. And Michael, why is it? And she knows who I am, right? And she goes, Michael, why is it just you out of everybody in Carrizo? How come you're the only one that calls and asks for the warrant, for a copy of the warrant? And I'm like, why? I'll tell you why. Because I want to file that arrest affidavit and warrant into the county court that I'm in, and I want to submit that as my evidence because they're bringing the officer on the stand, okay? And I'm gonna show him the warrant that was signed by the judge, and I'm gonna show the arrest affidavit and the statement he wrote, and I'm gonna question him on the witness stand. You see what I'm saying, Miss Sanchez? Okay, and she tells me I'm gonna have to speak to the judge, right? On that, and she's on vacation, right? She won't be back for 2 weeks. She told me, and I'm like, and then she tells me, and I can't even give it to you, really. And she's still, after all that we had talked about, and she admitted that it was public information. She says she can't give it to me because I need an attorney. And I'm like, don't start with that. Right? And in my head, I'm like, don't start that. Can't give me that. Right? And I'm like, or you guys show me proof. Right? I told her, ma'am, I am representing myself. Man, as a matter of fact, I even filed my notice of appearance as a pro litigant. Right? Because she told me, well, I can't give it to you unless you sign a letter saying that you're representing yourself. And I'm like, I got that. I just filed that, as a matter of fact. Your email? I'll send you a file marked document, a copy time with the timestamp and everything, right? And she went ahead give me my And so I tell her give me your address. She gives me her email address, and I get it, and I send it to her. And and I wait the 2 weeks, that she said, and then I go, you know what? I think 2 weeks is up. You know what? Let me do a surprise visit, and I do. Well, get this. I'm there at the courthouse, and I go up the elevators. I go, where's the precinct officers of 1 and 2, right? Because Prieto is what is it? Prieto's number 2, and she's number 1. I hope I'm saying that right. If not, it's reverse. Okay, but I think that's the way it is. Okay, wait a minute. I have it right here. So Prieto is Justice of the Peace for Precinct 2. Okay, so that's where the warrant came out of, from Precinct 2 in Dimmit County, and I was magistrated by Sonia. So I show up to the judge's office, the Justice of the Peace office, Sonia's office. Well, cause I know who Sonia is, not by person. The only reason why I know who she is because there's a Dimmit County directory, right? And it shows everybody's picture, right? So I know how Prieto looks like. I know how Sonia looks like, right? I look at them all day, every day. I'm looking at these pictures because I want to know who they are when I get there, and when I see them, I know who to talk to, right? I study my opponent, right? Well, they're not really my. Well, I don't know. I study them because they did me wrong. That's how I feel. I don't know. Maybe they didn't, but it looks that way, and so I know how she looks like, and and when I'm there on that floor, right? I just take a look around, and I see a woman sitting down. I'm like, this is her. I'm like, all right, right, and she's just like not even paying attention, right? And so I walk in, and I'm like, hi, how's it going? I sit down real quick. How's it going, man? Hey, I called, previously, and right? I caught her off guard, like straight. Hi, Sonia. Right? And I caught her off guard, right? And I tell her, ma'am, I'm just here to pick up the warrants, right? The warrant that I called previously about 2 weeks ago to say you were on vacation. I asked for a copy of the warrant of arrest and the arrest affidavit. Ma'am, may I have it? Right? And I gave her the cause number and all that stuff, right? And she's looking at me, and she was so nervous, like straight up, right? She was nervous, and she was like, well, what did she say? She's talking about Miss Sanchez, a clerk. Like, because she's the judge, she's the boss, and what did she say? I'm asking the clerk that doesn't even work for you, that works for, Prieto, right? It may be very well that she works for both of them, right? But she's asking the clerk, Miss Sanchez, Alicia Sanchez, what did she say? Like, if I could have the warrants, right? Is what she means, right? And when she said that, right, she says it real low, like not with like how a judge would be like, well, what did she say? Not like that. She's like, well, what did she say? And I'm like, you know what I mean? And then Miss Sanchez, right? Hey, Judge, I have him right here, right? Man, Miss Sanchez saves her, right? That's the way I took it, right? And Miss Sanchez is like, I have them on my desk, Judge. I've had them there for 2 weeks. And she comes up and she's like, they're right here, right? And she's showing the papers, right? And she goes, and here they are, right? And I'm like impressed, right? Because that's all I wanted, right? And so, well, thank you, and all this and that. I am so impressed that I don't even look at the documents, right? And I take off, right? And I start walking back down the hall, and I press the button for the elevator, and the elevator opens, and I go, before I step in the elevator, take a look at the documents. And I look at it, and I'm like, OMG, right? And I get an about face, and I start walking back. And I'm like, ma'am, this is not the arrest affidavit, okay? This is the complaint, okay? This is the complaint that this one, right? This complaint. Let me show it to you. Okay, this is the one that she gave. This is the one that she gives me, Alicia, the clerk, right? She gives it to me, and she goes, Michael. I told her this is not the arrest affidavit, Miss Sanchez. Okay. She goes, that is. I spoke to the county attorney, and this is what he gave me, right? And I'm like, but I didn't ask for this. I already have a copy, right? And that one was filed on the 6th, okay? And this one, well, I mean, she's giving me this one, okay? And this one's not even filed, okay? And if that was true, okay, that this is the original one that was filed in the precinct, okay? What I'm trying to say, guys, is that they're saying that this is the complaint that had me arrested. No, it's not, right? Because you know what? They couldn't even prove that because it doesn't even it's not filed in the Dimmit County Justice Court of Precinct 1 or 2, like the warrant was filed, and we all saw that, right? Right, but I do know that this is filed by the by Belinda, and Belinda told me that the county attorney is the one who filed it, right? Right, and so man, I'm pissed. I am freaking pissed, right? And I called the attorney's office, and he did. Okay, I go, sir, look, I'm not an attorney, okay, but I know what prosecutorial misconduct is, okay, and you know what? They issued out that warrant without an arrest affidavit, okay, that even existed at the time, okay, and you. So when I went to go pick up that warrant, Miss Sanchez told me that you gave her the complaint, right? Um, and he answers back via email. He doesn't even want to talk to me no more, right? He texts me, right? And he writes me a letter, right? And I'm like, this freaking guy. And I'm gonna show you what he wrote. Let me see. Let me just. Okay. I'm just gonna. It's over here. Okay. So. Says my address, right? So I'm just put it here, right? So he goes, Dear Mr. I am in receipt of your phone message, dated June 6th. I did not take a copy of the original complaint to the Justice Peace Officer Precinct 1. It is my understanding that the investigating officer took the complaint over to the JP's office in order to obtain a warrant for your arrest. I was not provided a copy of the complaint or warrant until the case was submitted to my office for review. Are you figuring out what just happened? Right? I'm like, What are you doing, man? Like, this guy is setting me up. The only way that warrant could have been issued is if the complaint was filed before the magistrate, right? And guess what, guys? Let me show you, okay? Right here on the one that he filed, okay, where it says magistrate of Dimmit County, there is no signature. So this complaint, okay, um, is no good, okay? And the one that the prosecutor gave to Ms. Sanchez still doesn't have the magistrate who signed it, okay? Dude, they are doing me seriously wrong, okay? Nobody's gonna even stand up and admit to it. When I called, okay, and so my witness list, right, includes the judge, all right, for precinct 1 and 2. I am subpoenaing um, Alberto Esquivel, and I am okay, and the judge, okay, and the deputy, okay, and the Dimmit County prosecutor is on the witness list too, okay, and they're all going to be put in the stand, okay. Do they not realize that I'm going to be exposing? They themselves are going to reveal the truth, okay. They cannot all of a sudden just come up with an affidavit now, because everybody knows that there isn't one, right? He even wrote that there isn't. Let me show you. Okay. And say, enclosed is our supplemental discovery, and in response to your message in the reference case number, are the following documents as listed: a copy of the original complaint, which is what I just showed y'all, the one without the file timestamp, right? Copy of the original warrant of arrest, and I just showed y'all that in the beginning, right? And it says, after a diligent search and an additional request of any relevant documents, I am told that there was no affidavit for the arrest of the warrant produced by the investigating officer. And I'm like, OMG. I'm like, and you know what? A complaint by law is supposed to be sworn before the magistrate when there's no signature by the deputy who's presenting it. And guess what? There is no signature from a deputy, right? Because you know what? Yeah, Ledma signature. Okay, and then off, right? Everything that is in this document right here, okay, makes you believe that this is an officer. Look, it says to wit. It says on July 3rd, 2022, approximately, I, Deputy Julio Fuentes, and so this, and then this lady signing it, right? I'm like, huh. I mean, I'm just she all of a sudden morphed into this deputy. What's going on? Like, oh man, this is, yeah. You know what? I don't want to go to trial, but if I have to just do this, well, I'm just gonna do it. Okay. So you know what? There's there's a lot of stuff here. Okay. But today I was just gonna be talking about my trial. Okay, I'm going on 2 hours now. Okay. I really don't like doing that kind of stuff. Okay. I like making shorter videos because they have a better attention span. I'm going to be explaining everything that I just did right now on this video in separate, smaller, shorter videos, right? So that it's easier to follow, right? But I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to end this video right now. And I'm going to just give thanks before I hang up with y'all. I want to give thanks to God, always and forever, right? Because you know what? There was this time. I'm going to explain to y'all. I think I've told y'all before, and if I haven't, okay, I want to say it right now. Okay, that one time I was going to CPS, right, going through it, and I could not understand what was happening to me. I didn't understand anything about the law like the way I do now. I didn't understand their verbiage. I didn't understand their words. I was afraid of the judge. I was afraid to speak in front of the judge. I didn't ever speak in court when I was on CPS in my own case. I spoke twice, right? But it was only to defend myself, and it was only but a few sentences that I said, and that was it. I never spoke after that at any hearing, and I was in court for 3 years, 5 months, 10 days. They did me wrong, and I never talked because I had an attorney. You think I like that? No, I didn't. So you know what? One time I run into my sister, right, over the phone, and my sister tells me, you know, to continue praying, pray to God, and she convinced me to start saying prayers, right, and to rely on God. And really, I did it because of my sister, Sarah, right? and and so I tried it, because I had told Sarah, Sarah, I don't want to be crying to God about and coming to Him only when I'm in trouble, or if I'm in jail, or if something's bad happening to me. I don't want to be calling to God just because I'm in trouble. I feel like that's wrong, right? Like, oh, you only call or come around when you need me, huh? Right? Like, that's how he feels, right? So for a long time, I said, you know what? Don't be calling to God just when you're in trouble. Just, you know what? Trouble comes your way. Well, then you take it. You take it and you don't curse God and you don't blame God and you go through it. And if Job can do it in the Bible when he did it, and it's really not a true story, right? It's in the Bible, yes, right, but it's not really an actual event that had really happened. It happened in the land of Uz, right? That's what it says, right? And it's just a moral story showing you about how to interpret the things that you go in life, right? And so I am using that, when I'm talking to my sister. I go, you know what, sister, what I've been doing is I've just been accepting everything that's been happening in my life, and no matter what happens, I know that God exists, and my faith in Him will just make sure that I am going to overcome whatever situation I'm in. And I'm not praying to God, but that's just how I feel. I believe in Him. And my sister goes, no, Michael, no, you still need to pray for him. He wants you to pray for him, right? For you, to Him, right? And I'm like, all right, I just didn't want to be doing that. But I've been going through a lot at that time already. That, you know what, I think that I proved that to him, that I wasn't calling him when I should have, right? And so I went ahead and I started doing that, and I said the same prayers. He goes, well, what is it that you want, Michael? My sister, she's telling me, she's like, I want to know. I want to know how to talk in court. I want to know what to say. I don't want to be afraid of the judge. I don't want. You see what I'm saying? Right? And my prayers were like, it sounded something like this. I was like, God, give me the courage to speak in court. Give me the words to say. Help me understand it is that's happening to me. Help me to understand what they're doing to me. Right? Give me the courage to speak, and give me the courage to not be afraid of the judge. Whether you believe that or not, those are my straight up prayers. Okay? And you know what? I remember one time, right, where I felt like that was actually given to me. Right? I don't know. It was the weirdest feeling when it happened. I don't really want to talk too much about that, but you know what? I can remember just exactly when I felt like something like that was given to me. Right? I heard buzzing in my ears. Right? I think I know. I have an idea. I don't know. Right? But because everything afterwards was just so much easier for me. Sometimes I tell myself, you got what you asked for. Right? Well, yeah, it also could be too that I'm just, studying a lot and reading a lot, and you know what, that too will help also. Right? And it does. Study, study, study. Right? Pray, pray, pray. Right? God's not going to give you anything and help you remember anything you don't study anyways. Right? But alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I appreciate all y'all tuning in and watching my channel. Everybody, I have trial scheduled for July 30th and 31st. I only know this only because the court coordinator, Julissa Alvarado Sanchez, which is my classmate Jonathan Sanchez, his sister, right? It's a small town. We all know each other, right? She knows who I am, right? Well, anyways, I have trial scheduled, right? only because they said it, right? And in reality, you know what? It's nothing filed in court. No, there's no notice of trial. They haven't showed me the docket calendar to say that I'm in trial. I'm just going off by what they're saying, right? So I can actually be setting up to come to court on my own, which I have no problem doing anyways, because you know what? I'm gonna say everything that they just did, and I have no problem with that. Okay, so whether they're setting me up as fraud, that's real. There is no real court date. I am telling everyone what I've been told. I have trial. It's called on Google Dimmit County Annex Building. Okay, it is on 4th Street. I did want to come to trial because the big of it is the most important thing in my life. I'm trying to get myself what I've always wanted to do, and I probably will have the opportunity to do it. And I thank God, right? I have no problem teaching the jury just exactly what happened and how I was done wrong. All right, so y'all tune in. That's in Carrizo Springs, Texas, on July 30th and 31st. Big event. And thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for watching.